Okay folks, welcome back. This is a video specially been done today, commissioned for my students in 11S6 to help them with some homework I sent them this morning, just to give them a little bit of an extra boost. Today's date is the 9th of 12, 2013 and we're looking at part 9. This is a homework help. We're looking at quadratic equations where the coefficient of x squared is more than 1. So in this particular instance we have a 5. Okay, so first of all, let's have a look at our standard way of factorizing quadratic equations. We normally have it like this when the coefficient is just x squared. Now because we've got 5x squared and 5 is a nice number because it's a prime number, we can split up this 5x squared into 5x and x. And I change colour for the times. Okay, so 5x times by x will give us 5x squared. So here what we need in this bottom part here, we need to adjust it by putting a 5 in there. So 5x times by x will reconstitute the 5x squared. Will give us that again. Now, let's have a look at the technique now. This is hopefully our 4th video and this is the last bit of the homework help. Right. When we multiply the number opposite the 5x and we multiply the number which is opposite the x, that will give us the total amount of x that we have. That must give us a total of minus 8x. So we are now looking for two numbers that multiply to give you plus 3. Plus 3 is a nice number, it is a prime number, it only has two factors. Now if you look over here we have a minus. So when we add these numbers up, it must give us a net negativeness. Now, if you would look at all the factors of plus 3, so let's have a look. We have plus 1 times by plus 3 or minus 1 times by minus 3. And in order for us to achieve a net negativeness after we add these, we multiply them and then add them up, we must use the negative factor pairs. So them are the ones we're interested in this particular question and not this one. Okay, now as we said before in the previous videos, what's important is the position of the minus 1 and minus 3. Unlike the normal quadratic equation where you can put the minus 1 and 3 in any bracket, it doesn't make any difference. But hey, it does make a difference because one has x as a multiplier for this one and one has 5x for that one. So here the position of the numbers is very important. It's imperative that we get them in the right place. If you put in the wrong place, doesn't matter, rub it out, put it in the right place, swap them over. So here we go, minus 1, minus 3. If we put, for example, here the minus 3 and put here the minus 1 as my first trial. So 5x times by minus 3 will give you minus 15x. Minus 1 times by x will give you minus x. That will give you minus 16x, which is way too big. Okay, so it's important that the number we put opposite the 5x is the smaller number, because when you multiply out of these two numbers, the minus 3, you get a much bigger negative number. So let's get rid of this. Okay, so let's swap them over, put the minus 1 in the correct position and the minus 3 in the correct position. So now 5x times by minus 1 will give you minus 5x. Minus 3 times by x will give you minus 3x. And look at that. And these two, when you add them up, gives you minus 8. So that's the right order. That is the right order for those factors. So let's get rid of all these lines now, so we can start to finish off this question. In the examination, if they ask you to factorize this, then you have done it. Finished. Question is done. But if they ask you to factorize this and hence solve it, we need to go on to the next level, which is making each bracket equal to nothing, because nothing times by something is always nothing. This was nothing times by something is always nothing. So let's have a look at this first one. 5x minus 3. I want to make this bracket equal to 0. We already have minus 3 here. If this part's minus 3, then this part must be plus 3, because plus 3 minus 3 is nothing. So this part here must be equal to 3. Okay, now x is being timed by 5. Opposite of time by 5 is divide by 5, and no, you haven't done anything wrong by getting a fraction. Okay, so folks, don't put on the parachutes and start jumping out the window. That is absolutely correct. X equals 3/5 is a lovely answer. It's when we do mathematics, we have fractional answers, negative fractional answers, decimal answers. So please don't get hooked on to, oh, I must have a positive answer. The answer is fractional. Next part. We now want to make this bracket equal to naught in order to solve it, because naught times by something is always nothing. We already have over here -1. So if I want to make this bracket equal to nothing, then this part here must be 1. So we can solve the one just by sight. So that's the easier one. If that's -1, that must be +1. If it was -2, that would be +2. If it was -3, it would be +3. So x equals 1. So here's our two solutions. Okay, so these are the solutions to the quadratic equations. So when we're looking at our quadratic function, so this will tell us where the graph will cut the x-axis. Okay, so we got 3/5 and 1, so just like a little touch. Okay, so you have 3/5 and 1, so maybe just the bottom part of it. Okay, thank you very much, folks, for joining us on this question. Folks, make sure you do your homework, and we'll see you back on Thursday morning. Thank you very much. Work hard.